Today's reading is from Isaiah 58, and in this passage we see Isaiah talking to children of Israel living in Jerusalem, and they seem to be doing all the right things in their own minds. They're going through all the rituals, they're doing their worship rituals, they're praying certain times of the day, they're fasting. They're doing all the stuff, and they're checking them all off the checklist and say, okay, we've done it, Lord. Now we're going to ask you what we want to ask, and we expect to see it. That's a little bit of a background here. Isaiah 58. Shout it aloud. Do not hold back. Raise your voice like a trumpet. Declare to my people their rebellion, and to the descendants of Jacob their sins. For day after day they seek me out. They seem eager to know my ways, as if they were a nation that does what is right, has not forsaken the commands of its God. They ask me for just decisions and seem eager for God to come near them. Why have we fasted, they say, and you have not seen it? Why have we humbled ourselves and you have not noticed? Yet on the day of your fasting, you do as you please and exploit all your workers. Your fasting ends in quarreling and strife and in striking each other with wicked fists. You cannot fast as you do today and expect your voice to be heard on high. Is this the kind of fast that I have chosen? Only a day for people to humble themselves? Is it only for bowing one's head like a reed and for lying in sackcloth and ashes? Is that what you call a fast? A day acceptable to the Lord? Is it not this kind of fasting I have chosen? To loose the chains of injustice and untie the cords of yoke, to set the oppressed free and break every yoke. Is it not to share your food with the hungry and to provide your poor wanderer with shelter? When you see the naked, to clothe them and not to turn away from your own flesh and blood. Then your light will break forth like the dawn, and your healing will quickly appear. Then your righteousness will go before you, and the glory of the Lord will be your rear guard. Then you will call, and the Lord will answer. You will cry for help, and he will say, here am I. If you do away with the yoke of oppression, with a pointing finger and malicious talk, and if you spend yourselves in behalf of the hungry and satisfy the needs of the oppressed, then your light will rise in the darkness, and your night will become like the noonday. The Lord will guide you always. He will satisfy your needs in the sun-scorched land and will strengthen your frame. You will be like a well-watered garden, like a spring whose waters never fail. Your people will rebuild the ancient ruins and will raise up the age-old foundations. You will be called repairer of broken walls, restorer of streets with dwellings. If you keep your feet from breaking the Sabbath and from doing as you please on my holy day, if you call the Sabbath a delight and the Lord's holy day honorable, and if you honor it by not going your own way and not doing as you please or speaking idle words, then you will find joy in the Lord. And I will cause you to ride in triumph on the heights of the land and to feast on the inheritance of your father Yaakov. The mouth of the Lord has spoken. A blessed reading of his word. And I think that's so important because, we're all guilty of that. We're all guilty of going through the motions. We do things and think, okay, well, I did that, and that's good enough. I've done my part. And we kind of just expect God to just be pleased with that. Well, he's not. I hate to break the news to you, but he's not.
You're right.
He wants a pure heart. I think when I was thinking about this today, the image of the poor lady that gave her widow's mite. Other people gave maybe 100 mites, or maybe much more, maybe more, half shekels or whatever. And they thought that they were doing a great and honorable thing, but she gave everything she had. came from her heart, and it meant something. It meant something much more. And it pleased God. So think on these things. I'd like to call on Robert right now to stand up. Robert had some things he wanted to share with us.
Oh, is this the one? Yeah, use that. Okay. And give me your shoulder.
Tap hands.
Thank you. Is this working? Yeah, it's working. I'm Rob Campbell. I have an answer to prayer to share with you. It actually is an answer. It's an old answer, more than a year old, which I have wanted to share with you, but I've been too cowardly. So bear with me. It's important to understand the context. I was in a situation, it happened here, by the way, it happened here in Port Clinton. I was in a situation dealing with an extremely difficult situation, a dark and difficult situation, an intolerable, unbearable situation. I don't know if you've ever been there. I'll bet you a lot of you have. And I'd done everything I could to find a solution. I did this, I did that, and nothing worked. So I got to the place where I was in a dark place and couldn't see any way out. There was nothing more. And so I turned to prayer. Now, I know what you're saying. Why? That would have been a good place to start. So what can I say? You've done it too. It happens all the time. So I walked into my bedroom and I prayed. I put the situation to God. God instantly answered the prayer. But it wasn't like a normal answer to prayer. It wasn't an expected one. Like, you think, well, you got a sore foot, you pray, the sore foot goes away. You run out of money, you pray, God puts an envelope in the mail. It wasn't that kind of a thing. God didn't do anything. God did nothing. God answered the prayer. Right? I prayed in words, and God responded in words. And I want to share it with you because this answer to prayer, this verbal answer, it might turn out to be an answer to one or two of your prayers down the line. So I want to share it with you. I remember it very well because it was so unexpected. So I remember the exact words that were spoken to me. God said, Rob, he knows my name. He said, Rob, I have been with you and your family your entire adult life. Why do I now have to listen to your whining and complaining and belly aching? All I should be hearing from you is thanks and praise. That's it. So, walk out of here. Go ahead living the life of a Christian man, and don't make me listen to any more of your incessant complaints. Now, you would think I might have been somewhat not totally grateful for this particular answer, right? Yeah, because it wasn't giving me what we normally think of as an answer. But what's notable is I was absolutely satisfied with that response. It was like that was the perfect answer to the prayer. And I want you to understand that. That was the entire, complete, 100% answer to the prayer. There was no other answer than that verbal answer. But I will tell you, I was encouraged by it, and so I did walk out from my bedroom, and instantly I was thinking of maybe things that I might try, but I decided first I'd get myself a cup of coffee. So I poured the cup of coffee, and my telephone rang. And it was my brother on the other end of the line, and he instantly released the whole situation, and the situation was solved. Okay, but this is what I want you to understand. That was not the answer to the prayer. Got it? The answer, what it was really was the result of things that I had already done. I was looking at total failure, and actually I was doing the right things, and it led to the right result. There was no problem, except that I wasn't praying enough.